The member's time has expired. I call the member for Gilmore.
Oh, thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I reluctantly remind those in opposition that fairness is not in the minds of the listener. It's just a matter of fact. Just prior to the election in 2013 election, the previous Speaker added mental health as a disability to the NDIS, yet it was completely unfunded. The myth of funding has gone on for many years. No, and now we have a remedy that many in our community have actually suggested themselves. We have delivered a fair budget. We're going to give every Australian a go. In Gilmore, contrary to the ill-informed infrastructure proposals recently announced by Labor for the next federal election to build half a bridge with a guesstimate amount of $50 million, we will deliver a critical first-stage infrastructure investment of $13.8 million for the construction of the Far North Collector Road, which most people would realise that when you block off an intersection, you need an alternate route to get the traffic around that blocked-off intersection. I used to have some respect for the previous Minister for Infrastructure in a Labor government. Not so today. Totally inaccurate. There are three benefits to this infrastructure build. Firstly, to help traffic flow for the new subdivisions recently released, ultimately a safety exit road in case of bushfire events, and finally an alternate route for our local residents when bridge construction has commenced. In addition to that, our local Meals on Wheels groups recently met with the Minister for Aged Care, the Honourable Ken Wyatt. We both talked to them about all things about the social networking they deliver along with their meals. I'm proud to announce that the federal government will provide $5.5 billion over 2 years to extend the Commonwealth Home Support Program and regional assessment services. The funding arrangements will contribute to support these services, such as Meals on Wheels, not just in Gilmore, but throughout all our regions. This is a crucial resource that is in high demand, and I congratulate my government on this achievement. I did work very hard for that. Earlier in the year, after hosting senior forums in Gilmore, I fought for and am proud to announce that the Minister for Social Services announced last night that the pensioner concession card will be reinstated for about 92,000 former pensioner card recipients. Be quiet. This change will help our very deserving self-funded retirees in accessing discounts and concessions offered by the states and territories, as well as being able to access Commonwealth hearing services. They will also retain the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card to ensure they continue to receive energy supplements. In health, we're increasing the Medicare funding by $2.4 billion over the next 4 years. We'll establish a guarantee fund to make sure that the same sort of scare tactics that were used in 2016 cannot be used again. Proceeds from the Medicare levy, less the contribution for the NDIS, will be paid into the fund and topped up with a portion of personal income tax to make sure it covers the combined costs of the MBS and the PBS. Since coming into government, the Coalition has listed more than 1,400 new or amended listings on the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme. We're providing additional support for public hospitals with $7.7 billion worth of investment. People living in rural and remote Australia will now receive significantly improved access to psychologists under a new $9.1 million telehealth initiative set to roll out later this year. We're also providing more than $50 million for mental health prevention and support packaging for serving ADF members, veterans and their families. Enhanced access to counselling for our veterans and their families will benefit their partners and dependents. It includes over 2,000 veterans and their families living in Gilmore. We have a number of other initiatives from the DVA. Another thing that I'm very proud to be listing here is that we're delivering the first comprehensive review into the family law system since the Family Law Act in 1976 to better meet the needs of Australian families. We have numbers of families who are ripped apart by the legal system at the moment by long waiting lists. If we can get an alternative way of solving problems for the families who are split because they no longer belong together, we cannot use our children as pawns and as emotional targets. We have to have a better system, and I think this review is long overdue, and so do many of the custodial parents or those who are disenfranchised from their children. This is a very, very fair budget.